Hello everyone, let's start a new tutorial today. This is one where my daughter is making her teacher a dress. So go ahead and do all the things, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, do all those things, like this video, stop right here, follow us on all our social medias to see the behind the scenes and to catch up with us. Okay, so this is Tropical Research Aria Maxi Smock Dress. This is on Etsy. I will link it down below. We used 5x5" knit fabric squares and the rest was cotton woven fabric. So this is great for scraps. And then here's some little clips of my daughter actually sewing together all of these little squares and rectangle pieces for the patchwork design that we did. She helped pick out the fabric and she helped sew this thing up. So this is one of her first projects that she's sewn with my machines, and she did a wonderful job, and this is a gift for her first grade teacher. So you can go ahead and skip to the tutorial, or you can just watch her cute little work that she did sewing up these tedious little squares. But she did a phenomenal job. She has a very keen eye for detail. Just wonderful. She loves to make new things too, so of course she gets that from her mom and her dad. She won her teacher awarded her with the Inventor Award this year, which is, it just fits so perfectly because she does. She loves to invent things and make things. So this is just the perfect gift for her to give to her teacher here. Something to remember, sweet Everly by. But yeah, it's really tedious to do the patchwork and everything, but it's perfect for scrap busters. You don't have to do that, obviously. You could use just a simple woven fabric. That would make this a ton much more simpler. This is a very cool pattern. I love it. It is very oversized, I will say. We made a medium, and I would say I wear a large, and this dress fits me, and it's oversized still. So definitely I would size down. And we do end up using a knit for the binding around the neckband. I used woven, but it wasn't my favorite, so we took it out. But we're going to get into exactly what you need to get started in just a minute. All right, so you're going to need 2 of the sleeve pieces. You don't have to add the sleeves, it's just extra. 2 of the skirt pieces, front and back, cut on a fold. 1 of the front pieces cut on a fold, and 1 of the back pieces cut on a fold. The sleeves are not cut on a fold. This is what the pieces look like. We've got our sleeve pieces, 2 of those, 2 of our front and back skirt pieces cut on a fold, and then 1 of the front and 1 of the back cut on a fold. All right, so to get this started, we are going to go ahead and lay these, the front and the back bodice pieces, right sides together, and we're going to sew the shoulder seams. And it does call for a 5/8 seam allowance on these shoulder seams here. So I'm going to go ahead and get that done. I'm going to serge it with my serger. Okay, and then I'm going to also top stitch my seam down here. I'm pushing it towards the back and I'm top stitching it down. All right, and then I opted to make a binding strip with some knit fabric, some double brushed poly. I just found it laid better and it's a lot smoother around the neck, but you can absolutely add bias around the neckband with woven fabric of your choice. You could buy pre-made bias tape. I just found using my binding attachment here on my cover stitch worked the easiest for me, and it gave me the best result. But this is totally optional and up for interpretation here, but the pattern does call for binding strip on the neckline. So you just, in my case, I just used a long piece of knit fabric cut and just kind of pulled a little bit to keep it from being wrinkly and wobbly on the neckline here. So that's all I'm doing. This little binding attachment is like life-saving, by the way. All right, so once you get your neckband done, however you choose to do that, we are going to start hemming everything. And so I did give it a little press, a little 1/4 inch press on the sleeves here on one side. And then I'm going to go ahead, this is what it looks like sewn up. I did one sleeve just to be sure that I was doing it correctly before I did it on video. But yes, so go ahead and hem those. I'm going to hem the skirts as well. So the bottom part of the skirt, I'm going to go ahead and hem that as well. So both sleeves and both bottoms of the skirt. This is where you will hem those. I'm just using my cover stitch really fast. You can use the sewing machine if you want to. You can also blind hem on a serger. It's not my favorite way to do it, but it absolutely can be done. Of course, you can do some hemming with a sewing machine. You can make some very nice hems with just a sewing machine, but I like to use my cover stitch. It's very quick. I feel like I've mastered it, so I use it. And I'm not going to hem everything on camera, but like I said, hem the bottoms of the sleeves and the bottoms of both the front and the back skirt. And once you do that, I'm going to show you how I easily gather these, because I absolutely hate gathering if it doesn't constitute using elastic, because I do not like doing it by hand. I don't like doing, I occasionally will do the basting stitches, like the 2 rows of basting stitches, and do it myself, but it's just so much easier when you're using woven fabric to use elastic, especially if one of the fabrics isn't like elastic, right? So I use elastic. I mark the middle here of my sleeve, whatever piece I'm using. So in this piece, it's a sleeve. Mark the middle, and then I'm going to open up this arm side here. So that's the piece that we want this sleeve to fit, right? So I'm going to get a piece of a 1/4 inch elastic, knit elastic, give it a good pre-stretch. And then I'm kind of just gonna, walk it around the arm side here. I am kind of pulling it just a little bit just to lay flat, and then that's where I'm gonna cut it. And then I am going to mark the middle of this just to keep everything nice and even. And then now I'm going to attach the middle piece to my middle point of my sleeve, and I am doing this on the back side, so the wrong side of the sleeve is where I'm attaching the elastic, and I'm going to show you how I do that. And I do this exact same thing for the skirt pieces as well. So this is how you would attach the elastic to the sleeve piece and to the skirt piece. So I go ahead and give it a good back stitch at the very beginning, and then I lay the elastic flat onto the sleeve piece here, and I did a lengthened straight stitch. So I did my straight stitch as long as it would go. I think mine's 4.8 is as long as it will go. And then I just go to that middle point there, and then I just keep laying this elastic flat. And I am leaving like a tiny edge of that serged edge at the top here, because it's going to help me when I attach this elastic piece to the actual garment. I will cut that off and it'd be right up against the elastic, and it just makes very nice, perfect, even seam. That's just how I like to do things. All right, so that's what it looks like. And then we're gonna again match this piece up here, and I am doing it right sides together. So my bodice is right side up and my sleeve is right side down. So I'm matching my middle points here. And what you saw there was me wanting to press it. So I went and pressed it down just to give it a little bit more uniformity, if that's even a word. If it's not, I just made it up, and I like the way it sounds. So I'm just clipping up my points here so that I'm not overstretching in some areas, and I'm just going to go to my serger and serge this on. And like I said, I did leave a little bit of the edge so that as I'm serging this on, I can serge right up against the elastic. I'm not cutting the elastic, I'm cutting the edge that's in front of the elastic off, and I'm sewing on the elastic. So that's the best way I can say that, and just piece by piece go here and make sure that all of your gathers are getting caught and that your elastic is not getting cut. Slow and steady wins the race. Once you get more comfortable with this, you can go faster. All right, and then I'm going to top stitch this down right here onto the shoulder seam here. Okay, so now I'm gonna do the skirt pieces, right? So you would obviously do that again for the other sleeve, but I went ahead and did it. So I'm marking the middle piece of the front and the back, and again, just measuring my elastic, giving it a good pre-stretch, measuring my elastic here, piece by piece, and giving it a good cut. And then this time, because the front and the back are equal, I'm just going to go ahead and pre-stretch it again and use that piece as a guide for the first piece, or to cut both. All right, so then I'm going to mark the middle of my elastic pieces just like I did for the front and the back of the middle of the bodice. And then you're also going to want to mark the middle of the skirt pieces, of course, and then put that elastic on there. And again, just as we attach the elastic to the sleeves, you're going to attach the elastic to the skirt pieces. I'm not going to show you that because it takes forever, but if you need, just go back just like we did the sleeves and see that. So now we're going to match up the middle. I have my bodice open, right side up, and my skirt front piece, I think this is actually, yeah, this is the front piece, is right side down. And we're just walking it along here, giving some clips again, just for there's that word again, uniformity. Just to make sure that we're not overstretching in some areas and understretching in others. This calls for a perfect seam here, and just keeps everything nice and tidy as you're going. So again, we're going to attach this with the serger. Same exact way we did it with the sleeve. We're going to cut off that edge that's right above the elastic. We're not cutting the elastic, we're cutting to the elastic, and then the needles will be actually on the elastic, right? So you just go, and then you'll repeat this again with the back. Sorry if my arm's in the way. Camera gets all wonky. But again, you're just making sure that edge of that bodice piece and the top edge of this gathered skirt is just getting cut off, and you're on the elastic, and it's going to be a perfect little seam here. And then I'm going to top stitch this down off camera, but I top stitch it to the bodice, so I flip the elastic up and top stitch it down. Oh, maybe not off camera. And so you're going to do this again. This thing right here is going to be repeated. I'm not going to show, what I'm not going to show on camera is the other side of the back bodice and back skirt. But it's the exact same process. And I'm using my cover stitch to top stitch that seam up. Again, totally optional, but I find this to be nice and tidy and make the garment look more professional. It is a little difficult when you have this giant skirt, but I managed. All right, and again, repeat that with the back of this dress, right? And so now we have like 4 pieces, and we are going to put it right sides together and then sew the entire side seams, okay? So just make sure your elastic pieces are lining up there, and sew the entire side seams of both sides. Secure those stitches. I top stitch the edges of the sleeves and the bottom of the skirt, but this is what it looks like, and it is super cute. I can't wait for my daughter to give it to her teacher tomorrow. Hope she loves it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you guys find this pattern really awesome and make something really cute with it. Thank you guys. See you guys next time. Bye.